morning, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, it feels a pleasure to be part of the brains of the world. As it is, you would have read that 2020, Bangalore will be the place with the largest number of people in the world. Silicon Valley will be there somewhere, right? Bengaluru, if it's there, and I was wondering, yet I was traveling to this location and seeing, I couldn't see one thing which was so missing, and I was discussing this with Rahul, and I felt so sad when I didn't see people smiling. Can I have a smile, please, first, foremost? They were, because of the traffic, they were like this. And I said, oh my God, what happened to you? Like, where's life? And then I realized that things are not quite the way they would have, perceived coming to Bengaluru and living a life. Always a pleasure to come back to Step In Summit. This forum has been inviting me, and it's been a pleasure and a privilege, sir, to come and join you all. Yes, and I know the challenge that I have, because amongst all these technical people, you are the ones, your fraternity is the ones which approves everything that goes through, the AIs and the Bitcoins and the clouds and the IoTs, and you name it, machine learning. You are the ones who sit there and say, sorry, this doesn't work, right? Go back. And if any change is happening anywhere, it is thanks to you and your fraternity. So I think that needs a huge round of applause. Thanks. You all are doing an amazing, amazing job. Yet somewhere I feel, if this is such an amazing thing that you all are doing, how do we at times not find quite that kind of happiness that we would want it? If we are doing so many things, so many joyous things, we should have been so happy, like a child, right? Yet, when we are so connected in this world, why are we so disconnected? You are fubbing when you're talking. Yes, I'm listening, right? And WhatsApp, I always consider it, see, nuclear energy was made, and then we developed nuclear bombs. WhatsApp was made, and then the way we use it is something which you all need to have a rethink. And therefore, I was wondering and I was put under pressure saying that, hello, Colonel, you can't do anything that you have done earlier. And I was under tremendous pressure to understand what should I do. And therefore, how do I say that staying connected will be how do you stay connected in this world? Right, I'm Colonel Sengupta. Thanks for this introduction, and the photograph you saw was me receiving the Vishet Seva Medal. I've put in 25 years in the Indian Army, and I was in infantry. For those who are not quite familiar with infantry, we are the foot-slogging soldiers. We are the ones who at the Battle of Saragadi, when given an option to come back to a fort, we said no. That will reduce our defenses, and our people will lose their lives. So I will stand here and fight. And 20 people take on an army of the Pashtuns, the Afridis, and the Northwest Frontier Province tribesmen, who were just totaling around 10,000. And this was logged by Lieutenant Colonel Hutton, the commanding officer. He could see it from Fort Lockhart. And that was the only battle where 22 OBEs, equivalent to your Paramveer Chakras, was given in one battle. And they all sacrificed their life there. This is the infantry. This is the same infantry which crosses Ichugul Canal to head towards Lahore, which should have collapsed the next day, had not the international forces stopped the war in 71. This is the same infantry. This is the same infantry which goes up on, you would have seen Tiger Hill, and shouts, "Ye dil mange more." This is the same infantry. We deal with men, and we deal with emotions which are very close to our hearts. And therefore, I thought, yes, to conduct all those things, we train. We train, and train some more. And you would see some of my soldiers practicing their firing on your right, and then doing all the physical exercises, calisthenics. And of course, you will see them doing all kinds of running. And we train for all battle situations. We train. We train so hard that it becomes our muscle memory, and even with eyes closed, blindfolded, we can open and handle our weapons. This is what we do. We train. But stay connected with life. This is one life you have got. This is one life you have got to make an impact. This is one life you have got to make the difference. This is one life you have got to leave behind a legacy. Ask yourself, what is the legacy I am leaving behind? Once you find that answer, you have found the of life, the elixir of life. Because I believe that all screen activities are linked to less happiness, and all non-screen activities are linked to more happiness. Some of you may nod your heads. Yes? If this is true, can someone tell me which is the kind of non-screen activity that you're looking for? Sir, we are software testers. We are 24 hours. And you are asking us our bread and butter. Right, I understand. Right. Therefore, everyone has a price. Let your price tag say priceless, invaluable, irreplaceable. That is where you will find your legacy. And everything that is truly of any value at all, love, family, peace, health, contentment, friendship, can't be bought. They can't be bought. Everything else, which is material, will give you happiness for those nanoseconds. You can measure it. Thereafter, it loses its value. If that materialistic thing would have really given you joy, you should have been happy with that Apple S7 for life. After 3 days, you're not quite as happy. Why? And therefore, I believe, if at all, you have to define yourself in one sentence, what is your statement? What is that statement? Think of it. Under foreign domination for over 2 centuries, galvanized the nation to overthrow the regime non-violently. One sentence. Right? Despite the odds of social discrimination, rose to pen the constitution of the nation. Self-explanatory. What is your sentence? That will define your legacy, that will define your purpose, that will define your passion. Ladies and gentlemen, some of them said, what is Colonel, what is your sentence? I said, I served the nation in uniform, and nowadays I'm inspiring the youth to fulfill their potential. If some of you have been touched, please start writing your statement. What is your sentence? Thank you so much. It was a pleasure interacting with you all. Thank you.